Okay, so we are back with chapters 5 through 10. So, kind of starting out, chapter 5 is super duper short. It's just this one page, and it kind of brings us up to date with Tituba and John Indian ending up in, they're basically in Boston with Samuel Parrish and his family. So this kind of sets us up for what life looks like that transition going from the weather in Barbados to Boston, which is a huge change. And what they feel like is going on culturally. As always, John Indian has pissed me off. But I can respect the way that he is figuring out how to assimilate and make the best of things for them. But more for himself. He does things more for himself, and if it happens to benefit Tituba, then okay, fine. Um and you guys will see, like, I dog-eared some of the pages because there were some words that I definitely wanted to look up to make sure I was reading things in specific contexts, and just some concepts that I wanted to just kind of really look into. So we see that Mama Yaya has sent Tituba someone that she can trust, someone that can help her learn about the land. I find it interesting when they were talking about the cats. This is the part where one of the white women who's a resident there is telling Tituba about like what has happened in the house that they've moved into, and they talk about the cats. So if you've ever read like The Crucible, The Scarlet Letter, they talk about how there's so many cats that are there. So when they first get to Massachusetts, they don't go directly to Salem. They live somewhere else, and then Parrish gets them a house of meager means in Salem, and they talk about all the cats that were there, and we see the cultural differences, where Tituba was like, oh, like, I feel like the cats are safety, and the people of Salem are like, no, they're the devil walking around. It's quite interesting, the hyper religious tones that are here. And Tituba also talks about that there are at least 2 or 3 other black servants in the community. That's something I never really thought about when reading like The Crucible and The Scarlet Letter, which happened to be my favorite things to read in high school. They never talked about anybody else but Tituba. But they do have some other black servants. Once again, Tituba kind of pisses me off here because you have the little girl who comes to her and is like, look, you're a witch. We know you're a witch. Help us burn this down. And she's like, no, I help people. I don't do that. Her tendency to do that is, I can see it being a bit self-preserving at this point because she doesn't know what the hell being over there, but also, once again, she's not using her power when someone comes and tells her you have this power. You can actually do good by saving us. And she's like, no, I'm not going to. I'm going to drown. The other thing that kind of pisses me off about her is she keeps asking, who would create a world like this? Who created this? And she asked this about 2 or 3 times between chapters 5 and chapter 10. And I kept yelling at her, you did. You created this life for yourself. You didn't have to be over here with these people. You could have left John Indians laying behind alone, and you could have been over there in the forest where the people knew you was a witch and they was going to leave you alone. But you created this life for yourself. And so there's a piece of that where I think she's kind of being a bit rhetorical, but At any rate, chapters 5 through 10 kind of move us through the realization of who she is in contradiction to the place that she lives. And it walks us through a lot of the things that we know today in the historic tale of, the Scarlet Letter, the Salem witch trials, the Crucible, like all of those things like that, all of those pieces of writing that talk about like the Puritans and stuff like that. I love that this is done from a first person perspective, because then we really hear what's on her mind, and we really get a chance to see firsthand what her thought process is. But I'm kind of at this point, like, she's like an irritating little sister. Like, girl, you got the vision to see this stuff and you still just kind of, or like that irritating BFF that just constantly is in drama, but they don't realize that they are the drama and they put themselves in the drama. So like, how can you complain about the drama that you put yourself in when you had foresight to not put yourself in the drama? And she's like constantly begging, like, Mama Yaya, I want Abina to come talk to me. Girl, they don't need to come talk to you. They've been told you what to do. And I think we do this a lot spiritually as well. Once we put ourselves in these uncomfortable situations, then we're like, someone come save me. But you already had the information ahead of time and you still did what you wanted to do. Now you want people to come save you when you can literally save your damn self.